Reloading.
We're live. I hope. Maybe.
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 Oh,
Maybe.
we got
Maybe.
7 waiting. That's what it says on YouTube.
It says we're live here. Comment if you can hear us.
Yeah, Ringo and I haven't used this platform yet. Hey, I see it. I see it.
All right, cool. I hope they're like 30 seconds behind us, and this is gonna be real awkward.
Yeah, that would
That
be.
sounds great. Absolutely ideal. Um, just gonna
Yeah, there's definitely a delay.
good. All right.
So everybody keep that in mind with chat.
Yeah, we're super delayed. It sounds like, but hey, hello, people. Say hi so that we know that this is working. We're not alone. Mostly so we don't feel alone. We're lonely boys.
It
Uh,
does say there are 8 people watching now. Now we're down to 7. Someone left.
yeah, I skipped.
Well, shit.
All right, Mikey, what are we talking about today?
Hey everybody. It's me, Mikey, and Ringo here tonight. We're here to drop basically a huge bomb on you guys on how we're restructuring the entire AMCF and how none of you are actually members right now, and we all need you guys to sign up. And hey, how's it going?
Hey. Also, we're making stabbing legal.
No, we're not. We're not
Good.
doing that.
That's true. We're not
Um,
taking
so AMCF is incorporating some big changes. We're still smoothing out a couple of things, but we wanted to get this going live so we can actually start doing the processes. Um, but I want to start off with the AMCF has changed a lot. We originally started as an organization just to feed into a qualifier event, to then feed into a team to go to the IMCF World Championships. With DeAndre taking over and becoming president, that's changed a lot. We now run the AMCF qualifiers. We do a lot with the Arnold Classic. We have War in the North. We're now going to be working with the ACS to work on Reno for the Legion Sports Festival. And on. So we're trying to do a lot more. That has been difficult because our membership was a lot lower price wise than other organizations. And for that reason, we're actually going to be starting with upping our membership price. It's going to go to $40. This is, as you can see with our breakdown here, some of the things that we've kind of had to up price wise. Our insurance, we had to go with a new insurance company. That way, we still have the same type of coverage, everything like that. Our website fee is up there. Trello is something that we're working on to get it running smoother. Basically, it's a way for the entire board to have different projects and work with each other on them a lot smoother. Uh, our tag is a remote agent because we had to refile as a different business and everything like that. Smooth Comp, which is something that we'll be going over here in a moment. And then we're actually working on trying to get an actual marketing and advertising like fund going so that we can start pressing our events and everything even more, along with a mobile internet plan so that our streams can be more reliable. So go ahead, Ren.
And I'm correct that our will still be the cheapest membership, correct?
As far as I know, yes.
Yeah.
$40 still makes us the cheapest of the United States leagues.
So, still the cheapest to pay. We are increasing it. Inflation plus all of these other things. We're actually trying to do stuff now. So. But still cheap. We're still trying to get it out there for as little as possible. No one makes any money on this.
Unfortunately. In our books, actually, Ringo's owed money currently because he ran the duels camp for preparation for Mexico, and we still haven't been able to pay him back yet.
Yeah, as is DeAndre and a couple of our marshals, because we pay for a lot of stuff out of pocket right now. So we're trying to not do that.
Yeah. Registration fees, just kind of a breakdown for our general costs for events and everything. We just want basically to have more of an open book system so you guys actually know like what money is going to. This is an average tournament cost. We do help with accommodation and food for our marshals. That way, they're not just showing up to do all the work for nothing. I appreciate that, Brennan, but I'm still gonna, because I prefer uh, opening books and being just transparent to everybody.
Yeah, in case you didn't see the thing, Alex, also known as Brennan, says it's not. Pro tip: you don't have to give your financials to justify raising your fees to still less than other leagues. But actually, on that point about that, one of the things the AMCF did start with, and we're still trying to keep, is that we want to be completely transparent about as much as we possibly can. We're not going to make absolutely everything available, but we do want you guys to see what it costs to run events, what it costs to run the org. We want this to be a community driven org that everyone sees what we're doing, everyone sees what we're taking in, everyone sees what's coming out. Really, like that's the whole point of the AMCF is to be transparent, is to be accountable, is to be just sort of they're for the community primarily.
So, smooth comp. This is kind of like the big deal that we're trying to bring to the table, especially with the announcements for tonight. Smooth comp is what we're basically transporting all of our stuff to for the AMCF. This is going to be where you go to sign in and pay your membership. You can see when your membership goes out, and this is also going to be like where all of our events are like posted, everything. Smooth Comp is a large like combat athlete software that's used especially in like jiu-jitsu, taekwondo, boxing, MMA, and it's a little cut off on the slide, but there's a whole list of a whole bunch of stuff. But Smooth Comp is what we're moving to try to make things more uniform and easier for everybody.
Yeah, Smooth Comp is one of the leaders in the market. So it is primarily focused on individual sports. So we're going to do a little bit of work to try to make it for the team sports, but it does look like a pretty perfect use case model. And so hopefully we don't have to develop our own thing because we are very light on staff.
Yeah. So like I said, it's already a combat sports software that's been established. I think, or like last month, they posted something about having 30,000 different events or something like that going on.
So in 1 week they will manage to do events in 32 countries, 150 events, 30,000 participants. That's happened multiple times. They'll put them up. This is beyond scaling to if we wanted to run events for every single Boo Hurt fighter in the world. This could handle
it. To answer Happy Cheeks, it's going to be kind of concurrent for a while, but we are trying to transition completely to Smooth Comp.
So the question was, are we going to be replacing Facebook? We will always be on Facebook. Too many people get their news from Facebook. But there's always been a complaint that Facebook is hard to find stuff on. This will be a one-stop shop to find out what new events are happening. It will have news. It will have all basically everything that you could want to find on a website will be there. One place to register for your events, one place to find your events, one place to watch your events, so that you don't have to go track down 100 Facebook stuff. But if you want to find stuff on Facebook, it will be there for you too. We're not going to go completely away from Facebook just because we are also using this.
Oh, sorry. But one of the benefits that I personally really liked about the idea of Smooth Comp is that you also get to submit your phone number and your email, and then any updates to whatever events you are signed up for, you'll actually get like text or email notifications whenever something is changed, that once you have your settings set up. So like if a bracket changes, you get a text automatically type of thing, which sounds really good to me because I'm always looking to see what's changing for different events anyway. But the other thing we're doing with Smooth Comp is we're going to be trying to open it up so that everybody can use it for all of their local events. So anytime that you're registering an event with AMCF, basically we create the event for you on Smooth Comp. because we're already paying for the organizer fee that they have on their website. We're covering that already. Then trying to help set all of that up, especially while we're doing this transition time. We're going to be helping like making sure everything's set up, and then we have a basically focalized point for all of our live streams, all of our uh, rankings, since we're also kind of going to start testing that for the IMCF, and be able to just track all events throughout one platform. And then with that, we're hoping that having a set up system for everybody, it will encourage more people to have more events, no matter what their size. So again, like I said, the standardized documented way to run events, we're just going to make it so that you submit on a separate form your event, what your setup is for it and everything, and then we create an event, make a certain person like an editor for that event so that they can put in all of their details and whatnot, but it's all a centralized location that everybody can see it. And it ends up on a whole map across the country, not just for us, but across all combat sports that use Smooth Comp. Like I've already been playing with the app, and I realized that there were several like beginner judo tournaments just nearby that weren't on that gym's website and everything like that. That I might go check out actually if I have time. But it gets us just out there more for everybody.
And one of the things also, if you go back to that last slide, so process is continuous. One of the things that's AMCF has struggled with is, and a lot of teams that have been around for a while struggle with the same thing, is that people come in, they do their time volunteering, and then they either burn out and disappear completely, or they just have done their little bit, and then they're like, all right, it's time to do something else. And basically, you have to restart all over, train new people up. And this way, we'll have a documented process. The tool handles everything. The turnover will always be smooth, whether DeAndre steps down, whether all of the board gets replaced in the next votes. It will always be easy to do, easy to run, and so that things won't just fall apart just because the guy who did brackets is gone, which is been a problem. Especially events, if you know that have event runners, like the super event runner doesn't show up, it's fucked. That is a duck in the top right. This is powered by StreamYard. Their logo's a duck.
We don't know why.
Yeah. Anyway.
So like I was saying earlier, the communication for your profile, you can have it set up so that you get text and or email messages. That way that everybody just gets the information directly to them. They don't have to go to the website every single time. Something changes, your phone goes ding, and hey, now you can check it, or you can at least know that, oh, I need to check this later type of thing. And you can filter it to specific things. Like the example here is men's longsword. If you're only signed up for longsword, sorry for that little blip there, men's longsword, we can basically filter it for that and then be able to reach to just that group of people. Like, hey, these people, has to change, that type of thing.
And this should be available to coaches as well. So if you register your team and everyone registers for it, you can check and see which of your guys haven't paid. You can see if some of your guys want to do duels and then they somehow can't figure out how to register. You can be like, hey, he hasn't done this. I could do that for him. So for places where often it is one person herding cats and doing all of the responsibility things, A, don't do that. People are adults. But B, in case you are doing that, this will facilitate that a little bit easier for you.
So with that, there's actually going to be screens during tournaments that you can live watch the event so you know what is coming up. Whenever we create a bracket or changes, like when we move to the next fight, it's a click of a button and it updates online, and then anybody who checks their phone now knows, okay, I'm down to 2 fights before I'm on. That way we don't have to have runners going back and forth all the time.
So yeah, you'll that's the big problem of runners, or you're trying to follow the bracket as it on a whiteboard or whatever. It should be just on your phone. And likewise, one thing that we've also had a problem with, if you're in tournaments, you know that you try to build your bracket out and you have last minute drops. And then what do? Do you put in a bunch of buys? It's always or do you just run it as it is and try to reschedule? It's always a problem. A click of a button, we can redraw the tournament. We can re-randomize. We don't have to do a whole thing of seeding, or we don't do that. But before every tournament, obviously, we would let you know how that works. But that way, we don't end up having a situation where someone gets 3 drops and 3 buys, and they're basically in the finals, which has happened.
Unfortunately. Like we said, bracket restructuring can be done, and this will be something that can happen for every event, not just things that are ours. So, like, I know Omaha, my hometown, they run events through the AMCF sometimes. If they register their event through us and use this, they'll be able to use all of these tools as well.
Which which handles like advanced seeding techniques and stuff, which some people just don't think about, type of like how you seed out of a round robin and stuff. This will handle all of that, which matters.
It does.
So this handles all of that, and as Cyrus just said, this is it probably will take us a little while to perfect this. We were gonna try to put that at the end, but Cyrus is in that transparency thing, bringing it right in the middle. Yeah, it's a new tool to us. We haven't had much time to play with it, and even after we do, the first time it's live will be the first time it's live. So it may be a little bit hiccupy the first time, but it will be smoother down the road than any tournaments have ever been. So.
This is a long-term investment. It's going to be rough at the beginning. Like, I'm just telling you guys that now. We're going to fuck up. We're Boohurt fighters. It's what we do.
Of course I fuck up.
But we're trying to get this set up as a system so that later on, everything is just a few clicks of a button or a few buttons, and we're set up, we're good to go, and we don't have to have this back and forth like, oh, what about this team? They showed up at this time, everything like. No, we're trying to reduce the amount of mess, make everything just easier, especially for the marshalling team.
Yeah. Because anything that makes their jobs easier will make them less angry at you and less likely to yell at you and give you cards, which we all want. Brennan believes that even our TBI riddled brains can handle this. It's a click of a button. I think he's giving way too much grace to some of our TBI brains.
But this should be able to handle all of our check-ins and everything, so it's not as much waiting in line just to sign paperwork and everything. You should be able to do it right on your phone. There's going to be some events that, of course, you have to sign other waivers that we need a physical copy of. It's not going to completely replace it. That way you don't have to necessarily be there quite as early. I'm knock on wood. Don't be late to your fights either, though. You use a little bit of common sense there, which TBI brains. Just going to throw that in there. One of the really, really big things that I'm excited for with Smooth Comp, though, is the scoring display. I've already been working it in my head that if we get, say, the next large event that we're hosting, we get just a couple of flat screen TVs in rooms that are connected to a laptop or whatever, it'll show in the corner of a room exactly what's happening in the list, where we are in the brackets, so we know who's up next, and we don't have any confusion on, oh, what's going on. We should be able to just it does not handle weapon checks. You still have to go and deal with marshals for that. You can't get around that one. But the scoring display will make it so that both we can have it in the fighting prep area so fighters know where we are, but also for the audience so that they know what's going on, what team is up, which team is up in fights.
And this should include, right, knock on wood again, we should be able to pipe this directly into our streams as well. So our local audience should be able to know it. and our streaming audience should know it, and then our announcers, if we have them, will know it, which is, sometimes we have announcers who know what's going on, and sometimes we just get whoever we can. And sometimes we don't have them at all. So.
This is an example video from Smooth Comp. They just have one person changing the different things as the fight's going on, but it live updates to any screen that is like showing this. So then they can just go to the next match, everything like that. And I'm going to show not that one. That's a bad link. Sorry. But
what was the bad link, Mikey?
The second link on that one requires a sign-in, so I'm not doing that right now. But Smooth Comp with the live streams, this is going to be super, super important because now not only is it going to make live streaming easier, but it's also going to centralize all of it. Like it kind of shows here, you add a stream, you scan the QR code, and you can start streaming with like an iPad, a mobile phone, anything like that. As long as you have decent internet that it connects, it should automatically live stream, record, and it has some really nice features to the if you have someone dedicated to it, they can basically click a button while it's doing that and it will mark on the timestamps for the different matches. So it will already break it up for everybody who watches it back later. So
that's right. No more
video
scrolling.
review is going to be so good.
No more scrolling through 6 hours just to find it. It will be right there for you, which is huge for our audience.
And it'll live stream, but it'll also automatically upload it to YouTube. And if we tweak with it a little bit, we should also be able to add other like channels. Right now, it's just set up to go to the AMCF one. That's a feature we got to play with. I can't promise that yet, but hopefully we can make it so it goes to our YouTube and a specific team's YouTube. Just so that everybody gets all of their stuff to promote how they want using their events. This is a list of some different tutorials, screenshots for everybody.
We'll be making the slide deck available.
Yeah, I will also be making a walkthrough on how to set up your profiles, everything like that. That's still in the works, but we want everybody to like know that this is happening, know that hey, we're going to be migrating to this, and get you guys started on that. So we're already working on some other tools to help you guys get signed up a little smoother, but we wanted to make sure everybody knew what was going on. Brennan, we're not doing exclusively through Twitch. I'm trying to stay away from ads for that terrible problem. But does anybody have questions on Smooth Comp and its announcement? We briefly touched rankings. I do kind of want to go into that a little bit more. At the moment, we are still working on the idea of ranking IMCF based style pro fights with a registered marshal, everything like that, as a test for the IMCF as a whole.
Yeah, so it's going to be a test to see what they can do, and also it is our plan to use that to sort of be how we can cut down on the number of fighters who will be allowed to qualify. If you're interested in qualifying for IMCF next year as a pro fighter, what you're going to need to do, and we'll go into more detail about this later on its own thing, but just for right now, the people who are interested. What you're going to need to do is go to an event that has an IMCF certified marshal. So that'd be Steve, that'd be David, that'd be Lex, Roman, and some others. And then have your pro fight there following the IMCF rules. You can also, if you want, register with us that you're going to do, tell us that you're going to do a one-off fight, get the person that you're going to fight, have a ref come out, and just do it there. We are going to put some stuff in place so that you can't just fight the same guy over and over again and just keep getting points for it. But basically, if you can't make it out to tournaments, but you can get someone in your weight class willing to fight you, we will be able to make that just like in your driveway. If you can get a ref out there, we will be allowed to make that count. And again, we'll go into the specifics of how this all works in more detail at another time. But that's sort of the basics. Is we are going to get rankings. If you win, you go up. If you lose, you go down. And then as we're getting closer to Worlds, we'll look at the top fighters and we'll invite, the top X of them to come actually have a tournament to see who gets the spot. Or if we run out of time and we can't get a tournament, we might just go with the top person. But we're going to try to have a tournament. We're not going to be doing ranking like that for duels or for melee, but we will be tracking ranking. So you'll see how your team is doing. You'll get to see how many rounds you won. You'll get to see how you did against certain people. I think it breaks down to that granularity.
Yep.
You'll definitely be able to see how many rounds you won and such. And so you can track how good you've done. And if you keep track of we'll keep track of your roster. So if you have a changing roster, you can also see how you've done with each roster. So overall, that's just going to be useful information for fans, for you. We're not consuming that in a way of actually figuring out who gets to go to what yet. There is, just because there isn't a plan doesn't mean we won't do it in the future. But there's also we either may or may not. We haven't decided on that. We're really going to test it out with the pro fights, see how that works for us, see how that works for IMCF, and then talk about how other rankings work.
We're also hoping that this encourages more people to become AMCF/IMCF marshals, because the more of them there are, the more pro fights that will actually be counted. Does that make sense? So get all your support people to hit us up on getting qualified for that.
Yeah.
Now, this is also not just going to be for an AMCF type of product. We're already in talks to have it open in a way that you can have multiple profiles, so that, for example, you want to track your AMMA fights separately. You can have a profile that's just for me, it'd be like Michael Johnson AMMA type of thing, and then I can track all of my fights through that profile alone for just that separate organization. So you can use this sport-wide.
Should do Warlord style stats for every team in the tournament. We would have to raise the price a lot higher to pay for that. I don't think we have a monkey that cheap. I do love data, but my hourly rate is pretty high. We currently only have 12 certified marshals, as Silas just said in the chat. Please sign up. That helps everything. It will help us do better. Yeah, it helps you guys have better, easier run tournaments, smoother tournaments, safer tournaments. And it also takes the load off some of your marshals who that way they can go enjoy some other things.
There's other things in life?
Than marshalling? Yes, fighting.
No, than boo hurt.
Oh, yeah, no. I mean, they could fight if they're both. Right, sometimes people have to put away fighting so that they can marshal for other people. And we thank them when they do it. But this will hopefully, we'll go back and forth. Especially if you're a duelist or just melee. If you only won, please register, because then you can usually marshal the other side of the turn.
So Brandon, yeah, go ahead.
Yes, this will keep schedules and stuff. I mean, regardless of what you mean, but if you mean schedules of what events are coming in the next couple of months, every event that gets registered will be on there. And so it will show all of the events that we have coming up, or all of the events that people have registered with us. And I believe all of the events where people have registered for our insurance, but aren't running it through, but aren't using SmoothComp to run the event. I believe those will also be up there. But don't quote me on that last bit. Fight schedules will also be up, as in the schedule of what's happening on the day. So long swords first. This person is next. This person is next. Yes, both of those things will be up there in one easy to find place.
I switched back to this slide to kind of show it a little bit. It's zoomed out because it's on a slide. It's not the actual website, but you can separate it between the different mats even. like mat 1, 2, 3, and 4. So if you have different duels happening all at once, like we see at qualifiers and such, you can set it so that okay, in this ring 1, these fights are in this order. In ring 3, these fights are in this order, and everything like that. So, Brennan, you whoever is running the basically the secretary who's running the website will be able to mark that hey, there's a pause happening here, so everybody will be able to see that. Though, as we know, who knows how long that will actually take.
Hey, maybe at some point we'll be able to work in appeals directly into this, and you can appeal directly from your phone. You know,
That would be nice. That would be
who
a
knows?
handy
We,
feature.
we haven't we haven't looked into all of the sort of more advanced customizable features, and they do have some pretty interesting customizable features. So those are not part of our business model yet. We don't know what we're going to do with that, if anything. So that's probably not something that's available. Who knows? Maybe it is.
uh, so we do have our own page for all of this, americanmedieval.smoothcomp.com. I'm going to tell you guys right now, do not create events. Okay? That's one of the big things. We're paying for the organizer fee through SmoothComp so that we can create events through our organization. But if you, with your profile, try to create an event, they're going to try to charge you as an organizer, and then you're going to have to send it to our federation and get it approved, and then it just creates more paperwork. It means you have to pay more. Whereas we're going to have a form set up that you guys submit, we get the event set up on Smooth Comp. That way, it's just handled.
Let us do the work for you. That's what we're here for. Some of the work, not all the work. Are there any more questions about SmoothComp?
There's a lot of stuff we're still going to be figuring out as we go.
And like Mikey said, he'll have some tutorials on how to register as a captain, how to register your team. We will put all that up. We just wanted to make the announcement. We wanted to let you guys know specifically also that we did switch insurances, and that because of that, we have to redo all of our membership roles. So letting everyone know up front. So if you want to, get back on the membership, you'll have to register. And obviously, we want to let you guys know that we had to raise the fee. So if you have questions, put them in the chat. Or if you have questions later, hit us up. You can always message me. You can message Mikey. You can message DeAndre, but he's busy and takes most of the things. So try to hit up your preferred board member. Lauren loves taking messages.
So the link is americanmedieval.smoothcomp.com. You should be able to just go directly to it. You are able to create a profile, and you should be able to go to your membership and get AMCF competitor membership, and there's the certified marshals and trainees. You can set that up if you would like to. Again, I'm still working on the step by step for everything. You can go in, you can get this membership, you can start playing around with the different things you can see. Don't pay for anything else. Okay? You can go in, you can buy your membership, and don't pay for anything else. We're gonna have more information as we go through. But we already have a couple of events that we've been playing with on here, especially the next upcoming one, which I believe is tomorrow, for Roger up in Delaware. Sounds right. Let's click it. So Roger was able to, he's been helping us test this for his events and everything, but he's able to get all of his information here with links, with ticket links. It's able to show different merchants and stuff. You can start linking those types of things in, contact, the location. And one of the things I thought was really cool is when you go onto the event page, if you scroll out just a little bit, it'll start showing all of the different hotels in the immediate area. So this again was just a test event, so there isn't a bunch of stuff set up here yet, but our matchup list for tomorrow night, which I'm going to be rooting for my boy Raul. Used to train him up in Maine. But it should be a good fight night. I don't remember if he's testing live stream for us. It's going to be a limited live stream because, again, we're still in the testing processes. But yeah, I mean, there's a bunch of different things. Like if this was fully like shown, it would show the fight. If this was fully filled out, it would show the fight order like here, so you would know, hey, this is happening next. If I'm 4 fights down, everything like that. But there's a lot of tools throughout this whole thing.
Also, for people who are worried about I have to register for another thing, it's a pretty simple process. We're not going to ask to see pictures of your armor. I do think you have to upload a single picture.
You have to have a profile pic, but
you just have to, and it doesn't have to actually be you. We don't care. Don't make it offensive. We probably will have to kick you. But you just have to come in, do a little bit of a registration, give us some info about how we can contact you, and then you're in. This should be a one-time thing. We shouldn't have to have you register ever again. When you register for events, you shouldn't have to fill out forms anymore. Except for what events do I want to be in at this event? So, hopefully this is sort of your one and done.
But yeah. Are there any other questions about Smooth Comp? Who's got what? Bueller? All right. There's going to be a lot of things that people hit us up for in the future. We expect that. Several of us on the board already have manager access of the Smooth Comp, so we're able to start playing with things and we can adjust things as needed, look at things in a whole bunch of ways. Well, we have it now, so we're going to use it. But if there's nothing else on Smooth Comp during our live stream here tonight, I just want to do a quick breakdown that the board elections are happening. We have closed the submissions, so there are 2 seats open. Ringo's seat is open. Fran's seat is open. Both of them are running again to reclaim their spots. This is not a platform for Ringo to talk about his things, so he can be quiet for a minute. But we have 6 very competent people running for the 2 seats. We're going to be publishing all of their submissions into the form and everything. I believe we're also going to be collecting videos from them soon. This is not, hey, go vote for them now. This is hey, these are the people that are going to be running for the seats. Feel free to hit them up with any questions, because if they're going to be running for the board, they better get used to people hitting them up in private messenger about anything at any time of day.
Backwards bow hurt. I'm not quite sure I understand your question about do you create a user if for Smooth Camp only it's registered for an event. Justin's, I believe, is next year. I believe it's her and Bobby next year. No, it should be Bobby and
I'd have to look
Spencer.
at the chart, to be honest. I would have to look at the chart for that to be sure, Brennan. So create your user ID for Smooth Comp now. Basically, this is your Smooth Comp profile. That way, that is your account that you then use for Smooth Comp to then register for events. I hope that makes sense. But again, if you want to, you can create your profile and get your membership now, but do not spend any other amount of money on the Smooth Comp. Okay, just don't do it. I know you guys probably want to go into the create event and see all the different tools and everything there. They're going to charge you just to look at those pages. We're going to be fronting those charges. We're going to have a form for you guys to submit events. For right now, you use the usual event tab that's on our Facebook. That way we can get all of that set up and you're not spending extra money for a tool we're already paying for. Okay?
What
Jonathan,
have I
you've missed
missed?
everything, so
40 minutes.
you'll get to run it back. You'll have to run it back. um, but yeah, we're not running for your seat to close out for tonight.
Sorry, you froze on my end. What was the question?
Do you have anything to close that isn't you running for your seat?
To pay us. Go buy your things. We need money. Yeah, I do, but for real, we're hosting Worlds coming up, and that's going to be very expensive. I know some people might be disappointed with what happened with Mexico. Hopefully, you guys have seen what we can do when we run tournaments. They're usually much more smooth, and this will can be significantly more on top of that. So, if you want us to put together a Dope Worlds event, and I think we can. I think we'll be able to put together one of the best events that will happen. So, if you want to support us in that, please get your membership now. So that
Yes.
there'll be bathrooms. There'll be a live stream. There will be
Tabletop.
there'll be a tabletop. The rules will be followed. What specific actions are we taking to make us confident that USA rules will be better than Mexico? Well, for one, we got this right. For when we're spending more money on a tool that will allow us to handle registration better, we'll handle bracketing better.
Because we know the bracketing was definitely a problem in Mexico too.
In addition, we're trying to like we said, we want more AMCF marshals. We're trying to bring them up now. Steve and Dave were two of the top marshals there, so we're doing everything we can to increase our marshal staff. So membership is required for AMCF and trades. Yeah, so get your people signed up. We're doing basically everything we can. We've run a bunch of events for this before. And I think you guys have seen that we've done that. Every time we run events, we ask what went wrong and we try to address it. So yeah, we already have our site and our contract negotiated, and it's not.
We already have the down payment. Like
it's not some random place in the middle of the mountains where we're gonna have to get moved because they changed it on us. It's an actual professional event venue that handles stuff. We have signed legal contracts. So yeah, we can go into more stuff later, I guess. But for right now, we're focusing on this year. We are starting to put in places the things we need to do for Worlds, but we do have stuff we have to handle right now. We're trying to. We would like to work with Minnesota on the combat to do War in the North again. We're talking with ACS about running Reno for them. We have our national event at the end of the year. One of those events we'd like to have be a Big Tens event. We might do another event in Kansas. So we got a lot on the table that we have to deal with right now, and all of those will be practice for our Worlds.
Yeah, I agree with you, Brennan. That's why we're trying to start using this for these earlier events now, so that way we can show, hey, these are all the tools that we already have set up that we will be doing for Worlds. That way we have all of these other events to test them and smooth it out, so it's not a giant clusterfuck.
Will pro fights be quals? I don't believe we've signed a contract with. I forget
DFC.
DFC. That so they're the ones who have the actual contract with Arnold, and I don't think we've signed a contract with them again this year. We were definitely in talks with them of doing it again, but until we sign that contract, we can't make any promises on what would be at Arnold's. So the event center in Conroe was incredible. They're practically everything smooth. Okay.
Nice.
But yeah, that's I think all I
got. Again, if anybody has questions, we're on the board. We expect you guys to hit us up. That's literally what we're here for. The Smooth Comp also shows a board of directors tab, so you have everybody who's on the board, so you can, if you don't like us for the plethora of reasons you might have, You can hit up anybody else on the board with questions. Generally, they get brought up to the board
Again,
so that we can address things.
Everyone should message Lauren. She will be super happy about it.
Yeah, go bug Lauren. But for real though, if you do have questions, don't hesitate to first play this back, watch it again, think of questions, and then if you still have questions, feel free to hit us up. It should be hopefully smoother sailing.
Yeah, it will be. It will be smoother sailing. Again, there might be some bumps as we roll this out. The first, if you went to if you went to Arnold's this year, again, it was slightly bumpier than our other events because it was our first time running that event. But it was actually smoother than a bunch of events I've been to, and the events that we know that we've run before. Those go smooth. We got to get a little practice with it. Once we figure that out, like I said, we always go back. We always do postmortems. We always figure out what went wrong. And we always try to get better. So, yeah. I think that's it, though. Thank you, everybody. Thanks for tuning
guys.
in.
Yeah. Again, hit us up with any questions you might have, and go get signed up on Smooth Comp. Start playing around with it. We'll catch you guys around.